Yo, what's up, y'all? ¿Cómo estás? Pura vida. My name is Kevin Crumpack. I just got done with my IVHQ trip to Costa Rica and felt inspired to share my experience with y'all. If anyone is ever considering doing something like this, um, it's amazing. It's good for the soul. It's a lot of fun, and you might not know a lot about it. Those of your loved ones might be concerned about it, concerned about you going on the trip, and I just wanted to make this video to talk about my experience finding the program, what it was like on the program, um, so that I could shed some light on it. So. Yeah, I was one of the older people on my trip. A lot of people going on these trips are like, in between college years or like in a gap year somewhere in their early 20s. I had just got finished with a job, so I had some time off and had an opportunity to take a trip and had never done a volunteer trip. So decided that this is something I wanted to do. It was a little bit on a whim. For me, my trip started on Monday. I scheduled it on the Thursday prior, which IVHQ is actually based in New Zealand. So it was Friday over there. So I started contacting them about scheduling the trip, and they're like, "All right, buddy, like you got to let us know today. We're about to go on weekend, and if you want to go on the trip, we need to know like in 2 hours, and you got to pay because we have to set up arrangements for you." So I was a little bit spontaneous and late, probably compared to most people. Most people plan these things out way in advance. But IVHQ, for those of you that don't know, it's the International Volunteer Headquarters. For short, it's IVHQ. Um, I knew I wanted to just take a trip. I wanted to get out of the country. It had been 9 years since I had gotten out of the country. And I researched online for organizations that scheduled volunteer opportunities. And IVHQ was one of the organizations that popped up immediately. There seemed to be really good reviews on it. Nowadays you check things like Reddit, see what people are saying about it there. I was talking with my folks about this potential trip, and my mother was convinced that I was signing up for a human trafficking scheme, but that was far, far, far from the case. Found it online, decided I wanted to go to Costa Rica. Had a time for probably about a 2 week trip, so looked on there for options. There's so many different things that you can do, whether it be teaching English, volunteering in construction, volunteering in medical, like as a nurse. Down in Costa Rica, there were some people that did the turtle conservation trip. There's a lot of poachers down on the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica that steal the eggs of these turtles. So there's volunteers that go down and help with that and conserving, making sure that the turtles' eggs are not taken. There's a host of things you can do across the entire world, but I had decided I wanted to go to Costa Rica. Like I said, I had about 2 weeks to do it. I wanted to do kind of like a half volunteer trip and a half just pure vacation, but it was all scheduled through IVHQ. Because they also have these opportunities that are called like these mini adventures, which you can add on to your trips. Sometimes you can just add on like day trips if you want. If you have like a day within your volunteer trip that you are not volunteering and you wanted to go somewhere, or you just want to go somewhere on the weekend, you can do that. Or in my case, I did a full week of an adventure week, which was called the mini adventure. And I did my first week of volunteering in the city of San Jose, the capital city of Costa Rica. And then the following week, I was based out of Capos, Manuel Antonio area, close by the beach, doing all of these various adventure things like zip lining, whitewater rafting, different jungle tours, the national park tour, the list goes on and so forth. Catamaran, boat trip, it was a heck of a lot of fun. but that was following my week of volunteering. You can do the week of volunteering first or last. For me, it just made sense to like, hey, let me do this volunteering on the first week and then really just kind of relax and enjoy Costa Rica, being at the beach the second week. That seemed like the most logical progression, and no regrets about that at all. But back to how this was all, arranged. I contacted IVHQ on Tuesday before my trip started on the Monday. They got back to me on Thursday and said, hey, we still have room for you. You can teach English for a week in the city of San Jose, and you can do this mini adventure. I went ahead and signed up for the program. There was a fee of like $325 or something like that, which is the program fee. And then you get your accommodations that you pay for with the program. It's not with the program fee. It's more than that from a cost perspective, but something like $900 that was for my full week of, no, it was less than that. It was like $600 some dollars. I'll put it in the notes below how much, because I have a breakdown of how much where the money worked out. But it's your accommodations, living accommodations, breakfast and dinner, and then also like transportation, some transportation. Like for me, when I went down to Manuel Antonio, my transportation, the bus was all included in that. But like transportation around the city, like taking buses to go, and like Ubers if you want to go out and socialize, whatever, go out to dinner, that's not like included with your host family, that you do have to pay for on your own, but that would be to be expected anyways. And yes, so I did. I got down there. There's somebody who picks you up from the airport. For me, my flight got delayed. I didn't get into San Jose until 2 o'clock in the morning, which was a little concerning. You get there and somebody's outside the place waving a yellow flag that you go and meet with, and they've got like, a car that has some darkened windows, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? But the guy was super, super nice. He took me to my living accommodation, called my host mom. You stay with host families on these trips. So, called my host mom. She came out. It was like 2:30 in the morning in a random, random place in the city. She came out and got me, did not speak a lick of English. So, expect that. And then my Spanish is, un poco. So she spoke muy rápido, very fast. So it was tough to communicate with her at first, but just went to sleep, got breakfast in the morning. She took me to my accommodation, Maximo Nivel. That Maximo Nivel is who actually is the local organization. So the way this stuff works is you've got IVHQ is kind of like the overarching body that locates you, anybody who's looking to do one of these volunteer experiences across the entire world. They locate you with these local organizations, which actually are the ones that carry out the day-to-day. And in my case, in Costa Rica, it was called Maximo Nivel. And they were the ones who set me up with my program. I ended up teaching English inside of a drug rehab facility, which I did not know I was going to do when I got down to Costa Rica. That's just kind of what I got assigned to, but it was incredible. My class was amazing, and I met so many amazing people through it, and had just a great time seeing these people want to learn and develop, and also go through their drug rehab program. And me and my fellow teachers that were in there, hopefully having a positive impact on them, both learning English, but also just being steadfast in their recovery. So that was really incredible. You meet a lot of people from across the entire world through these experiences. You go to orientation right at the beginning. I met people from Madagascar, people from England, people from other places in Europe, Argentina, from Mexico, a lot of, some people from the States as well. I'm from the States. And that was really cool. So you meet people, at the orientation, then you go and do your program. Afterwards, the next week I was down in Manuel Antonio, and you kind of reset. I was there was one or two people from San Jose that come down to Manuel Antonio as well that are still doing your program, but you meet a whole new slew of people down there doing that. So I just would strongly recommend it. It's a really amazing way to travel where you are feeling like you're giving back and having a positive impact on the place that you're traveling to, while also enjoying and like being a tourist in the city at the same time. So you feel like a half like member of society and also kind of like half tourist, which is really cool. Than just doing like the whole like resort thing. It's really rewarding, I think, to also live with host families and really have that intimate experience with the country and really getting immersed within the culture, eating what they eat, just like the way the bathrooms are, showers. Like my first lady was like, you had to turn the light. The second you left that room, like you better turn that light off, otherwise she was going to be on you, And like it's like, okay, this is just different. Got to make sure that we respect that. Host family down in Manuel Antonio, Capos. They were the guy down there. Oscar was the #1 fisherman in the town of Capos, and we were able to enjoy his, catch of the day tuna and catch of the day mahi mahi when we were down there that he just caught out on his boat, which would have been like a $55 or $60 meal here in Los Angeles where I live, and it's part of our program down there on the coast. So just a really amazing way to travel and to give back. The staff through Maximo Nivel was so accommodating and so helpful. Anytime you needed to make a change, hey, do you want to go back to San Jose? When's your flight? When do you want to go back? We got to make sure we get you the right bus trip. They were just on top of everything. Always felt safe throughout the entire process. Obviously at the beginning, you're a little bit nervous. You're doing something new. You're flying to a new country by yourself. For me, it was the first time that I had ever, solo traveled like this. So getting into a place, like I said, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're getting into like a random car with a stranger, you're kind of like, okay, you put some trust into this. But IVHQ organizes all of this, makes like everyone that they work with, all the local organizations that they work with, are extremely safe and reputable. So then, once you get there, you realize, oh, it's Maximo Nivel in this case that I'm working with. They were just top notch. 11 out of 10 experience. Can't wait to do it again. I bought this shirt there. It says Pura Vida on the back. Pura Vida is like pure life is what it directly translates to. But, in Costa Rica, they use it for everything. It's like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Pura vida. Like, or something goes wrong. It's like, pura vida. Pura vida. But in this case, thank you for watching my first ever YouTube video. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about anything, IVHQ, Maximo Nivel, feel free to drop a comment or hit my line, send me a message. I'm happy to talk about it. It's such an amazing experience for me, and I'd love to share more. So until next time, pura vida.